A very good morning to you, Ivy. I also would like to say thank you so much, for doing this Zoom interview, right? So I think it's very critical for us to now understand what's going on with the current situation, So let me just introduce myself. My name is Datin Dr. Liz Abu Hassan. I'm from a company called Adla Group Sdn Berhad. We are a company that focuses more on training and development, specifically for women. And we do a lot of programs, which is also soft skill as well as practical skill. And our training center is situated at Ampang Point. At the same time, what Adla is trying to do is also, we are the first in the region focusing on work-life balance for the entrepreneurs, because we feel that this is a very important aspect that entrepreneurs should understand, on how to juggle their business as well as their life. So that's the reason why, I'm very passionate about going out there and advocate this message to all the entrepreneurs out there. So, of course, in the beginning, the situation was a bit chaotic, It was a chaos. Of course, I have to say that, because especially those people that are not involved, in the related essential businesses that are allowed to continue doing the businesses. So people like those that are not allowed, they have to look into areas, ways on how to survive, how to survive in this current situation. It's not easy, I can say that, because it's impacting everyone across the board. When you look into the SME, we have the micro SMEs, we also have the small SMEs, medium, large corporation. Everyone is having, we call it, can feel, the impact of this pandemic COVID-19. So for me, as a small business as well, I could say mine is a small business, right, in terms of category of SME, we have decided, to continue working at home.
Okay.
All right. I've instructed my staff, to actually bring back, all the necessary documents, and of course, even the computer, I did mention, ask them to bring back desktop, and we have to continue working, because for me, the directive is not to stay home doing nothing,
Yes.
We have to go on and continue working in whatever means we have. So that's why we are facing at the moment for my company. That's what we are doing at the moment, Okay, in terms of coping, I could say in the beginning, we were struggling as well, because we were not expecting, and we were not sure on how are we going to manage this situation,
Yes.
The first week was a bit slow, we were like trying to adjust, but all I could say, okay, one of the businesses that I'm involved is directly related to e-commerce, all right, where we are selling clothing. So I did mention to all the staff that is involved in the e-commerce business that the business, when you talk about e-commerce, the business is very mobile, all right? It can be done anywhere. It can be done anywhere, everywhere, anytime.
Yes.
It's not something that is like, oh, okay, I can't do the business. So when talk about the e-commerce business, is going on smoothly, but of course, when we talk about customers, of course, we do receive some feedback from the customers about issues related to postages, issue related to the SOP that we are taking to make sure that the products delivered to the customers are in good order, So when I talk about that, it's going on. But the other business that I'm having, which is the Adla Group, which is involved in training and development, So in the beginning, of course, most of our courses are conducted offline courses, because we believe human interactions is much easier in terms of communicating content for education. So we have not really looked into areas to digitalize the online courses. And because of this current situation that we are facing, we have made the decision now, which is the time is right, it's kind of push us, to the edge and to make that decision to go online, So we have, we are going to actually launch our online courses next week, hoping, there will be some we call it some good response from the community. But even that, I think looking as an entrepreneur, I think this is a time for us to look into areas that we can enhance all our business processes, and make it better. So this is what we are doing. Okay. Honestly, I think when look into the situation, on the current pandemic, COVID-19, the first thing, if we look as an individual, we are looking into a survival, all right? Because it's a very, very crucial, for us to remain insane and survive at this point of time, because that's what the most thing that is fearing us. Because every day when we look into the KKM reports, and what is being translated, to us, and people are suffering, the numbers are going up, and of course, the first look into it, we would just like to stay home and not do anything to make sure that we do not get into this, do not get into in contact with anyone that is a positive COVID-19, But that's as an individual. But when you look into yourself as a business person, as an employer, we also have to make sure that we have other people, that are dependent on us in terms of survival as well. When we talk about financial survival, right? Because these people are all working, together with us, of course, we need to go on and ensure that there is a survival of the business, as well as the people that are together with us. Okay, so I honestly would like to urge, all the business people to continue working, to continue looking into areas that can be improved, to make sure that we will be able to have the revenue, the income for everyone to survive. And of course, government, have come out with some incentives, to assist the SME as well. Perhaps it's not directly, that they will be given cash. I'm not sure. Hopefully in the next few days we're going to have another story about getting some cash incentive. But those extra incentive, that the company can use and make sure that they will have the extra cash flow, use it at the best, that you can, and make sure that this is the time for you to cut all the unnecessary expenses, costs that may not contribute back to the productivity of the company, and make sure that also important to find ways to sustain the business, to be creative, and looking into this online platform. Because when you look into this online platform, if this pandemic were to happen in perhaps 20 years ago, of course, it will be a different story. People will stop working, because we do not have ways to communicate with each other. But this is a good thing about in year 2020, the technology, the industrial revolution is there. People can be connected, and still survive, in terms of doing business online, So I suppose we should take this opportunity, even if you have never done it, you know, of course talking about me, I have never done any Facebook Live. Not that I do not know, but I felt that maybe it's not me, not my cup of tea, you know. I like to see people face to face, you know, like talking online, talking just to the computer is not something that I'm comfortable doing. But it pushes us, you know, as an entrepreneur to go out there and decide to make these changes, so we will be able to continue, because it starts with us. Because if we stop working, you know, if we stop everything, you know, the people that we are together with, the passengers that we are bringing, which is our staff, you know, our employees, you know, will also stop. You know, so we do not want that, because that is what the government is trying to do, you know, to make sure that no retrenchment, you know, at this point of time, because this is the issue that I think they are trying to address, you know. So we have to play our role, although we are small, SME, we are impacted as well, but we have to play our role. Okay. Talking about my messages, you know, in terms of what's going on currently, pandemic 19 situation, you know, which is not only something that is impacted us in Malaysia, but it's a global issue that everyone is facing, you know. So I would like to urge everyone out there to ensure that whatever, you know, whatever that has been directed, you know, by the higher authority, you know, by the government, let's take it seriously. Okay, let's take it seriously, because it's something that all of us are in together. Because this is where we would have to play our role, be a good team player. Because when they ask us to have this restricted movement order, you know, is something that has been thought very, very deep, you know, because they want to make sure that the interaction, you know, the contact with a contact point between one person to the other person is being restricted. So I suppose, you know, as a citizen of this country, you know, let's play our role, you know, let's just think broader a little bit, you know, the impact, you know, the impact of the community. Because if we want to think about only the impact of ourselves, you know, we say, or even our small our small family, you know, maybe we couldn't see that. That let's look into a broader perspective. Because if every one of us would play our role, you know, we will be able to fight this battle together, you know. And I would really urge, you know, everyone out there, you know, to now let's not be selfish, you know, let's just help each other, you know. Of course, some people would say that I take all the precautionary measures that I will not get and all these. Yes, I know, guys, everyone would do that, but the thing is, we must make sure that there's less movement out there, you know, and we can actually get over this, you know. Because at this current situation when I'm talking to you, it's supposed to be tomorrow, we're supposed to go back to work, you know.
Yes.
Supposed to be happy, you know, 1st of April, you know, like, wow, we're going to celebrate. But now we are grounded again for the next 14 days, you know. So, well, there's another a cycle to it. So I really hope that we don't have to go for the 3rd cycle, you know, because I think if everyone is not playing their role, you know, everyone is still taking this thing lightly, not sinking into their mind, you know. So we may have to go to another 3rd wave, you know, and be at home. So I would like to wish all the Malaysian out there, you know, be safe, you know, keep yourself clean, you know, and pray. Let's all pray together, you know, that we will be able to fight this and come out stronger, you know, not only as a person as well, you know, as a nation. And let's make sure that this thing will we call it, will stop faster than whatever we expected. All right, so I think that's about from me, you know, what I can actually say currently.